Hey folks, Matt Gladman here, and I'm back with another drawing tutorial. This time, we're working on a compass that you could use for your next fantasy map drawing. But before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe, like, or comment on this video if you like what you're seeing here. Besides a pencil and a pen, you're gonna need something you can draw straight lines with, something you can draw circles with. So I have just a small ruler and a circle template. All right, let's go sketch. To start things off, I'm gonna use my circle template to create some guidelines. And I make some little marks at the 90-degree points. And then I follow those marks through using a ruler to create a bit of a bullseye guideline. And back to the circle template, I'm gonna create a few more circles here. It's great to have a circle template that has these 90-degree marks, because then it helps line up the different size circles that you may use in this design. And now I'm using those little guidelines to create my 45-degree marks. So as you can see, I'm just building up guidelines to help me through the process. Next, I'm using a ruler to create some long, thin triangles for my directions, north, east, south, and west. So I line it up where I'm touching the base of the 45-degree guideline, and then on an angle up to my 90-degree guideline, if that makes sense. And for this one, I'm keeping it really simple. You can do all sorts of cool designs with compass rose drawings, and we'll explore those in a later tutorial. And after putting the lettering in for the directions, we pretty much have the look of a compass there. Now I'm gonna go into some of the ornate details. So here, within the directional triangles, I'm creating these small curved triangles, just to give it a bit of interesting design. Using one size down from the largest circle I drew for my circle template, I carefully go around and creating another bordered edge here. And within this bordered edge, I'm gonna create a bunch of little notches for various directional degrees. And to keep it somewhat symmetrical, since I already have my 90-degree marks and my 45-degree marks, I'm just gonna half that again with 22.5-degree marks. Then I fill it all in from there with 3 notches in between each guideline I've already laid out. I could have stopped there, but I got even crazier and I added in some more lines in between each guideline I've already laid out. At first, I thought I wanted my 22.5-degree directional lines running right through the compass, but then I decided I only really wanted them in that secondary border. So I erased the through line and then went around the compass and popped in those 22.5-degree lines just in that second inner border. And you'll see drawing compasses like this, sometimes called a compass star or a compass rose. And I wanted to embrace that compass rose name by creating a little bit of an intricate flower design in the middle. So it kind of looks like a star of petals. So I went through and drew these ovals with points on either end. And that pencil work is good enough, because now we're gonna go through with pen and finalize it all. It's tricky using these circle templates to trace over what you've already laid out again. So I'm thankful for some of those guidelines that I had already laid out. But just be careful, make sure you have a good amount of pressure on that template sheet, and just take your time going around that circle, making sure there's nothing that slips and that your line work is bang on. And after I was done with the circle template, I just went through and freehanded it. Because hey, we're drawing by hand. This doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to look good, but we're not after perfection. We're never gonna get there. So just take your time and be careful with your line work. And sometimes it's just those wobbly little lines that give your art character. After I got everything cleaned up, I remember that classic look of compasses, where one side of the directional triangle is shadowed or shaded. So I went through and did a bit of line work to give it that contrasting look on each side of these triangles. Now that that's done, boy does that look good. Wow, I am stoked to have this compass on my fantasy map. Okay, I want to thank you for watching, and I would love to see some of the projects you're working on. So please, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, until next time.